In the heart of downtown Los Angeles stands a monument to the forgotten, the desperate, and the damned, the Cecil Hotel. For decades, its grand facade has hidden a chilling past, marked by suicides, murders, and infamous serial killers who called it Shadowed Hall's home. But no event in its grim history casts a longer shadow, or remains more unsettling than the mysterious disappearance and subsequent discovery of a young student. Elisa Lam. In 2013, her story sent a cold shudder through the world, revealing an enigma that police, pathologists, and the public are still struggling to comprehend. Welcome to Mr. Ominous Tales, where we explore the darkest accounts that defy logical explanation. Prepare to be unnerved as we delve into the mysterious death of Elisa Lam. Born in Vancouver, Canada, 21-year-old Elisa Lam was an ambitious student, embarking on a solo trip across the west coast of the United States. Her journey was meant to be an exploration, a personal adventure. On January 26, 2013, she checked into the Cecil Hotel, planning a short stay before continuing to Santa Cruz. Initially, all seemed ordinary. The hotel, despite its dark past, functioned as a budget accommodation for travelers and backpackers, often mistaken for a bustling hostel. Elisa contacted her family regularly, reassuring them of her safety. But beneath the veneer of normalcy, something profoundly disturbing was brewing in the shadowed corridors of the Cecil. On January 31st, her routine calls abruptly ceased. Elisa Lam simply vanished. The disappearance of Elisa Lam triggered a standard police investigation, yet it yielded no immediate answers. Her family and police desperately tried to piece together her last known movements. Focusing on January 31st, her last confirmed sighting, days turned into weeks. Then on February 13th, nearly 2 weeks after Elisa's last contact, the Los Angeles Police Department released a crucial piece of evidence: surveillance footage from the Cecil Hotel's elevator, captured on January 31st. This wasn't just a video. It was a disturbing descent into a digital nightmare, perplexing detectives and chilling millions worldwide. The 4-minute clip began innocently enough. Elisa steps into the elevator, presses several buttons, seemingly expecting the doors to close. But they remain open. She peers out anxiously, looking both left and right as if expecting someone, or perhaps sensing something. Then her behavior grows increasingly erratic. She steps out, steps back in, waves her hands in the air, gesticulating as if speaking to an unseen entity just outside the elevator frame. Her movements become almost desperate, as if she is hiding, cowering, or perhaps even playing a bizarre game. She appears to try and hide herself in the corner of the elevator. Then, inexplicably, she walks back out, gestures once more into the hallway, and vanishes from view. After her departure, the elevator doors finally close. It was as if they had been waiting for her to leave. They then open again, close, and then operate strangely, traveling between floors without anyone seemingly controlling them. This single piece of footage ignited a global frenzy. Was she experiencing a psychotic episode? Was she interacting with a real person, a perpetrator hidden from the camera's view? Or was something truly inexplicable happening, something that defies our understanding of reality, suggesting a presence beyond human comprehension? This disturbing elevator footage became the spectral heart of the Elisa Lam mystery, hinting at an encounter far beyond the ordinary. As the elevator footage sent shivers down the spine of anyone who saw it, the police continued their search for Elisa. The Cecil Hotel was thoroughly searched, room by room, including the roof, yet Elisa was nowhere to be found. The police canine unit searched, finding no trace of her scent on the rooftop or any other guest areas. How could a 21-year-old simply vanish from a heavily populated hotel without a trace? The answer, when it came, was far more grotesque and unsettling than anyone could have imagined. On February 19th, almost 3 weeks after Elisa's disappearance, guests at the Cecil Hotel began to complain. They reported low water pressure, and some noted that the water itself had a strange taste and a dark color. This led hotel maintenance worker Santiago Lopez to investigate the large water tanks on the rooftop, which supplied water to the entire hotel, including the drinking taps and showers. What he found defies logic and decency. Inside one of the massive covered water tanks, floating silently in the murky water, was the decomposed body of Elisa Lam. She was found naked, lying face up. The discovery instantly turned the perplexing disappearance into a full-blown nightmare, forcing terrifying questions to surface. How did she get there? The tanks were over 10 feet tall, located on a locked rooftop with alarms, and required a ladder to access. The heavy lid of the tank was also reportedly closed. To enter the tank, Elisa would have had to remove the heavy lid herself, and then replace it after entering. How could she possibly do this, especially given the state of apparent mental distress from the elevator video? This horrific revelation plunged an already baffling case into even deeper, more ominous waters. With the discovery of Elisa Lam's body, the case transitioned from a missing person investigation to a death inquiry. A full autopsy was performed by the Los Angeles County Department of Medical Examiner Coroner. The findings were, perhaps unsurprisingly, ambiguous and failed to offer clear answers. The official cause of death was ruled as accidental drowning, with bipolar disorder noted as a significant condition. Crucially, the autopsy found no evidence of physical trauma, assault, sexual assault, or foul play. There were no marks indicating she had been forced into the tank. Toxicology reports detected medications prescribed for her bipolar disorder, but at subtherapeutic levels, suggesting she may not have been taking them regularly or that their effects were diminished. Alcohol and illicit drugs were not found in her system. The water inside her lungs contained some foreign elements, but nothing definitive to explain her presence in the tank. The seemingly straightforward conclusion of accidental drowning was immediately met with skepticism from the public and armchair detectives around the world. How could someone accidentally drown in a securely closed water tank on a locked rooftop, exhibiting no signs of struggle or forced entry? If she was having a psychotic episode, how did she manage to get to the roof, bypass security, open the heavy tank lid, get in, and then potentially reseal it, all without assistance? The coroner's report, rather than resolving the mystery, only added more layers to the sinister enigma surrounding Elisa Lam's final moments. To truly understand the unnerving context of Elisa Lam's case, one must explore the notorious history of the Cecil Hotel itself, often referred to as Most Haunted Hotel or Hotel of Death. The Cecil has attracted darkness for nearly a century. Built in the 1920s as a luxurious destination, it rapidly spiraled into disrepute during the Great Depression. Over its grim history, the hotel has been a hotspot for a chilling array of macabre events. It boasts a long list of suicides, with residents leaping from its windows. In the 1960s, a pregnant woman gave birth in her room, and then threw the baby out the window. In the 1980s, infamous serial killer Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, reportedly resided on the top floor while committing a string of heinous murders, allegedly dumping bloody clothes in the hotel's dumpster. Another serial killer, Jack Unterweger, also stayed at the Cecil in the 90s, committing murders while he was there. There have also been alleged ghostly encounters, beyond explanation cold spots, and an overwhelming sense of dread reported by guests and staff alike. Many believe the hotel itself is cursed, a magnet for dark energy and tragic souls. Could the accumulated grim history, the pervasive air of death and despair, have somehow played a role in Elisa Lam's horrifying end? Did she unknowingly become entangled in the hotel's long, insidious shadow? This terrifying lineage lends a profound, ominous backdrop to her case, making its inexplicable nature all the more unsettling. Theories and conspiracies, the unsettling truth? Given the lack of definitive answers from the official investigation and the utterly baffling nature of the elevator footage and water tank discovery, the mysterious death of Elisa Lam has become fertile ground for countless theories and urban legends, attempting to grasp at the unsettling truth. A psychotic episode, relapse theory. The official stance points to a possible manic or psychotic episode brought on by her bipolar disorder, especially since toxicology reports indicated subtherapeutic levels of her medication. In this state, she might have experienced hallucinations, fled to the roof to escape imagined pursuers, and somehow managed to get into the water tank, either intentionally or accidentally, during a disoriented state. The erratic behavior in the elevator could be attributed to this. However, critics argue, how could she navigate complex rooftop security and manage to open and potentially reseal a heavy tank lid, all while in a disoriented state and leaving no physical evidence of struggle? This theory, while plausible, fails to fully account for all logistical challenges. B. Foul play murder theory. Many believe Elisa was murdered, possibly by a hotel staff member, another guest, or an unknown perpetrator. The argument is that only someone familiar with the hotel's layout, or perhaps even an employee, could access the roof and overpower her, placing her body into the tank. This theory would explain why no force marks were found. Perhaps she was unconscious or already deceased when placed inside. It also accounts for why the heavy lid would be closed if a perpetrator had knowledge of how to operate it, or could have tampered with it. However, the lack of DNA evidence, defensive wounds, or any other signs of struggle found on her body or at the scene makes this difficult to prove. Also, the unusual elevator behavior would need to be explained. Why was the perpetrator not visible on camera? Or why was she alone in the elevator behaving this way before the encounter? C. The dark tourist challenge theory. Some suggest Elisa might have been participating in an online dark tourism or elevator game challenge designed to contact otherworldly entities by manipulating elevator sequences. Some versions of these games involve rituals related to specific hotel floors or water. The strange button presses and gestures in the elevator might be part of such a ritual. This would explain her behavior, but not her ultimate demise in the water tank. And again, the physical impossibility of entering the tank remains unanswered. Dewater tank contamination incident/hygiene hypothesis. A lesser known, grim theory proposes her death wasn't mysterious, but a horrific accident linked to her seeking escape or trying to reach something on the roof. Perhaps slipping and falling into the tank during a moment of mental distress. This directly explains why she was found there, but it still clashes with the logistical challenge of accessing and entering the sealed tank unnoticed. This theory is purely functional, devoid of the sinister mystery that surrounds the case. A paranormal supernatural influence theory. Given the Cecil Hotel's infamously dark history with countless deaths, murders, and alleged hauntings, many firmly believe that Elisa Lam's demise was due to paranormal intervention. They point to the elevator's erratic behavior, appearing almost to be playing with her or resisting her commands. Her desperate gestures could be seen as communicating with an unseen spirit. Her disappearance, followed by discovery in such an unlikely place, is attributed to a malevolent entity or the residual dark energy of the hotel's past victims. This theory offers the most comprehensive explanation for the uncanny, inexplicable elements of the case, directly embracing the ominous core of our channel. However, it relies on belief in the supernatural rather than empirical evidence. Each theory grapples with different aspects of the case, but none completely unravels the terrifying truth behind Elisa Lam's final moments. The enigma persists, leaving us with a profound sense of unease. The mysterious death of Elisa Lam remains a haunting modern enigma, a disturbing puzzle that continues to defy complete logical explanation. The surveillance footage is a viral ghost, an unnerving window into the possible last moments of a young woman seemingly battling an unseen force. Was it a tragic consequence of mental illness, the act of a cunning predator, or something far more chilling and unearthly, rooted deep in the hotel's cursed legacy? The Cecil Hotel, now rebranded as Stay on Main to shed its grim reputation, continues its operation, but the shadow of Elisa Lam's death, along with countless other tragedies, forever looms over its walls. Her story serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes the true horrors aren't found in fiction, but in real life, hiding in plain sight just beyond our understanding. What do you believe truly happened to Elisa Lam in that ominous hotel? Was it a grim fate brought by human hands, her own mind, or something supernatural? Share your theories and thoughts in the comments below. We listen to every unsettling speculation. For more true ominous tales that pierce through the veil of reality, like this video and subscribe to the Mr. Ominous Tales channel. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into the macabre.